Greetings everyone, this is SteamTeamRedubUK, CC Trainor-Ling, and I'm back to bring you another episode review from the Loud House Road Trip arc. So let's get right into it. Today's road trip episode is Bringing Down the House. In this episode, the family goes on a rather boring VIP tour of the White House, and some of the Louds sneak off to the rooms they were told were off limits, and of course break a few things along the way. For this being the second installment of the road trip arc, this one wasn't as exciting as Bizarratorium. Aside from the phone conversation with the president towards the end, most of the plot doesn't contain anything particularly amazing in the grand scheme of things. The one major detriment I found was how the White House in this series has a severe lack of security guards. I mean, the place is practically empty with the exceptions being the Loud family, some front desk receptionists, and an uptight tour guide nicknamed the Bulldog. I get how there were multiple cameras mounted everywhere that captured everyone's movements, but it's so weird how the Louds rather conveniently never saw them until the last minute. It's even more confusing when you realize there was no camera on the head statue at the beginning of the episode, and then it suddenly had one near the end. And of course, the room where you would expect someone to be watching all those cameras at all times was also completely empty. Seriously, there was a camera placed right above the room that said restricted area, and no one is rushing in to stop this family from sneaking through the vents in order to get inside. You would think the building that houses the most powerful man in the world would have at least one special agent stationed in every hallway. If it's that easy for random civilians to make their way into the White House bowling alley, ice cream room, the Oval Office, and the First Lady Boutique without anyone taking notice, just imagine what would happen if... well, I think you know where I'm going with this one. So yeah, given the location of the story, the way the plot was able to move forward just came off as overly convenient. No one was around to stop the Louds from getting their hands on and breaking things in the rooms they were specifically told were, ironically, off limits to VIP tourists. So they sneak back into those same rooms to fix what they broke, and they try to get rid of the video footage of them wandering off from the tour. They finally get caught by the Bulldog, who figured out the Louds were causing trouble, and just when he's about to tell the president he's sending them to the White House dungeon as punishment, the president just lets everyone off the hook when he praises what the family did while in those special rooms. He was impressed with how they both fixed and improved the conditions of the items they broke, and he wanted them to attend his birthday party as his way of saying thanks. So this was one of those endings where everyone's big-time screw-ups and their attempts to fix them worked out in everyone's favor. Ordinarily, I would file this under the category of rewarding the bad guys, something I don't particularly like, but the ones who made messes were quick to own up and put things right, so I gotta give a little credit for that. Plus, seeing how random civilians such as the Louds were able to get on the president's good side and get the chance to meet him, I guess everything breaks even. I mean, the guy plays guitar, so he's definitely got a super chill fun side. Then again, we never physically see the president, one of the episode's 3 big missed opportunities, so we never get to see him bust out a guitar solo. However, if one takes into account how the episode takes place in the summer, more specifically on the day of POTUS's birthday, and assuming the season 5 time skip began in 2017, it's reasonable to believe the Louds were in Washington, D.C. on June 14th, the birthday of President Donald Trump. This, of course, is never confirmed, but if it's anything like Lincoln's birth story from Not Allowed taking place 11 years in the past during what would have been the George W. Bush administration, my presidential theory in this episode doesn't sound too far-fetched either. The other missed opportunities include never seeing what the White House dungeon looked like after hearing about what happened to a tour guest who flipped on a light switch without permission, and they missed the chance for Lisa to talk about her special connection to the president. She has a direct line to the Oval Office as noted in the episode Hiccups and Downs. You would think she would be able to pull some strings so her family could get access to the fun rooms they wanted to visit around the White House instead of going to the more boring ones like the laundry room and office supply closet. Well, you know, whatever it takes for Luann to make a few puns about them just to annoy a buzzkill named Bulldog. Overall, this episode may have been a step down from Bizarratorium due to how overly convenient it was for the family to run amok in the White House when you would think a place like that would have a lot more security, but it was still a fun little adventure nonetheless. The family got to visit the rooms they wanted to see, tapped into their usual brand of recklessness, and were quick to fix their collective problem, which resulted in a payoff they never anticipated. Funny how good things can come out of bad behavior. I suppose Rita's big story for their tour of the White House would be how they were the unintended handymen and women to the president, and they got the opportunity to meet him when usually the chances of that happening are extremely slim. One last thing I want to mention is I believe Lynn made a subtle reference to the movie Toy Story. She referred to the Bulldog as one strange little man. I don't know if the writers were going for a movie reference or if that line was just a coincidence. Either way, I agree with Lynn, and that sad, strange little man definitely has my pity. With that said, I give Bringing Down the House a 7 out of 10. Well folks, that concludes my review of Bringing Down the House. So I gotta ask, what did you guys think of this episode? Sound off in the comments below, and be sure to click that that subscribe button for more Loud House related content. That's going to do it for me. I'll catch you guys for the next video, but until then, this is SteamTeamRedubUK, CC Trainor-Ling, signing off. Peace out, home slices.